Welcome to the 2023 Virginia DMV Written Practice Test. We've got 60 questions and explained answers that cover everything you need to know for the assessment. But before we hit the road, be sure to fill up our tank with a like or a sub so that we're always firing on all cylinders and pumping out new content. Now let's buckle up and get going with the first question.
Question 1. In Virginia, all passengers under the age of 18 must A. Properly use a seatbelt, but only if they are sitting in the front seat. B. Properly use a seatbelt, but only if they are sitting in the back seat. C. Not to be buckled into a seatbelt. D. Properly use a seatbelt regardless of where they are seated. The answer is D. A driver transporting anyone younger than 18 is responsible for ensuring that the young passenger is properly secured by a safety belt or child safety seat, regardless of where the child is seated in the vehicle. Question 2. If law enforcement officers arrest you for DUI and it is your second offense, how long will your driving privileges be automatically suspended for, or until your trial date, whichever comes first? A. 90 days. B. 120 days. C. 60 days. D. 30 days. The answer is C. If a law enforcement officer arrests you for DUI and it's your second offense in the past 10 years, your driving privileges will be automatically suspended for 60 days or until your trial date, whichever comes first. Note that this is an administrative suspension, not a criminal penalty. If you are convicted of a second DUI, 6 demerit points will be added to your driving record. Your license will be revoked for an additional 3 years. You will be fined between $500 and $2,500, and you will be sentenced to jail for between 10 days and 12 months. Question 3. If you are found to be driving without a license after you have previously been convicted of driving without a license, your vehicle will be impounded for up to A. 60 days. B. 30 days. C. 3 days. D. 90 days. The answer is C. If you are found to be driving without a license after you have previously been convicted of driving without a license, your vehicle will be impounded for 3 days or until you obtain a license, whichever is shorter. Also, 6 demerit points will be added to your driving record. Question 4. Drivers who have consumed alcohol before getting behind the wheel. A. Are always aware of the risks they are taking. B. Do not have sufficient control over their bodies and minds or the vehicles being driven. C. Are better drivers because they are more careful than sober drivers. D. Have quicker reaction times. The answer is B. Alcohol is a depressant that negatively affects judgment, vision, concentration, understanding of reality, and reaction time. It is never safe to consume alcohol in any amount before getting behind the wheel of a car. Question 5. If an underage driver is convicted of a second traffic violation, his or her driving privileges will be suspended for how many days? A. 180 days. B. 60 days. C. 90 days. D. 30 days. The answer is C. If a driver under the age of 18 is convicted of a traffic violation or a violation of Virginia's safety belt or child restraint laws for the second time, his or her driving privileges will be suspended for 90 days. Question 6. When approaching a railroad crossing warning sign, you should A. Be ready to drive faster than the train. B. Be prepared to stop if a train is nearby. C. Look for a way around the lowered gates. D. Assume no trains are nearby and continue driving normally. The answer is B. Railroad crossing warning signs are used to warn drivers of the possibility of a train. Drivers should obey all railroad crossing warning signs and never go around barriers or disregard the warning sign. Question 7. On interstate highways in Virginia, the speed can be as high as A. 85 miles per hour. B. 75 miles per hour. C. 80 miles per hour. D. 70 miles per hour. The answer is D. On Virginia's interstate highways, the speed limit is between 55 and 70 miles per hour. Question 8. The effect that lack of sleep has on your driving ability is the same as A. The effect that alcohol has. B. The effect that amphetamines have. C. The effect that anger has. D. The effect that driving with teenagers has. The answer is A. Fatigue and being under the influence of alcohol have similar effects on your ability to drive safely. For example, being awake for 18 hours impairs your driving about as much as a blood alcohol level of 0.05%. Being awake for 24 hours in a row has the same effect on your driving as a blood alcohol level of 0.10%. Question 9. You must yield the right of way to A. Pedestrians who are crossing a public street or highway. B. Funeral processions. C. Military convoys. D. All of the above. The answer is D. You must yield to pedestrians who are crossing the street at a marked crosswalk or an unmarked intersection. You must also yield to and not cut through or join funeral processions and military convoys. Question 10. When driving on slick roads, you should A. Take turns more slowly than usual. B. Change lanes quickly. C. Accelerate quickly. D. Brake hard. The answer is A. While it's always dangerous to drive too fast on slippery roads, this is especially true when driving in turns and curves. Be sure to approach them more slowly in slippery conditions than you would under normal circumstances. Question 11. If a transit vehicle is signaling to re-enter the main roadway following a stop, you must A. Honk to let them know you're there. B. Move to the left lane. C. Yield. D. Speed up to pass. The answer is C. You must yield to any transit vehicle that is signaling to pull back onto the main roadway after it has stopped to load or unload passengers, change lanes, slow down, or stop to allow the bus safe re-entry into traffic. Question 12. If you are charged with refusing a breath test and it is your second offense, how long will your driving privileges be automatically suspended for, or until your trial date, whichever comes first? A. 30 days. B. 90 days. C. 60 days. D. 7 days. The answer is C. If you are charged with refusing a breath test and it is your second offense, your driving privileges will be automatically suspended for 60 days or until your trial date, whichever comes first. This is the same suspension you would receive if you had failed the breath test and been charged with a second offense of DUI. Note that this is an administrative suspension, not a criminal penalty. If you are convicted of refusing a test, 6 demerit points will be added to your driving record, and your license will be suspended for an additional 3 years. Question 13. You are driving up a hill and are approaching a heavy truck from the rear. You should know that A. The truck may be traveling at a speed slower than the posted speed limit. B. You may not be able to safely pass the truck. C. You may not be able to legally pass the truck. D. All of the above. The answer is D. Drivers must be aware that large vehicles often travel at a speed slower than the posted speed limit, especially when driving on an incline, and you should use caution when approaching a large vehicle from the rear. When on a hill with limited visibility, it is unlawful to pass another vehicle. Question 14. If you are convicted of driving while your license is suspended or revoked for an alcohol-related offense, your vehicle may be impounded for an additional A. 180 days. B. 90 days. C. 30 days. D. 60 days. The answer is B. If you are charged with driving while your license is suspended or revoked for an alcohol-related offense, your vehicle will be immediately impounded for 30 days. If you are convicted of this charge, your vehicle will be impounded for up to 90 more days. In addition, 6 demerit points will be added to your driving record, and you will be fined up to $2,500, sentenced to jail for up to 1 year or both. Question 15. You are approaching a railroad crossing that has no visible gates or flashing lights, but has a standard crossbuck. You should A. Approach all tracks with extreme caution and cross only when you know that there is no train coming. B. Turn your radio down to hear if there may be an approaching train. C. Only continue once cleared to do so by a flagger if applicable. D. All of the above. The answer is D. You must approach all railroad crossings with extreme caution and cross only when you know that no train is coming from either direction. If there is a flagger at the crossing, you must obey all of their instructions. Question 16. If you stop along the road at night, you must A. Turn off all your lights. B. Use your parking lights only. C. Use your headlights only. D. Turn on your emergency flashers and leave your low beams turned on. The answer is D. If you stop along the road at night, turn on your emergency flashers and leave your low beam headlights turned on. Be sure that other road users will be able to clearly see your vehicle. Question 17. If you drink alcohol socially, what helps you ensure safe driving? A. Drink coffee before driving. B. Ride home with a friend who has not been drinking. C. Take a cold shower before driving. D. Stop drinking 1/2 hour before driving. The answer is B. One strategy to avoid driving while impaired or intoxicated is to arrange for a ride home with a friend who does not drink. Drinking coffee or taking a cold shower cannot reduce your blood alcohol content or reduce the effects of alcohol. On average, it takes about an hour for the body to eliminate the alcohol from a single drink. Question 18. What do speed limit signs indicate? A. Potential driving speeds for the area. B. The maximum or minimum speed that is legally allowed to be driven. C. The speed drivers should drive in heavy traffic. D. The speed drivers should drive under poor conditions. The answer is B. Speed limit signs indicate the maximum or minimum safe speed that is allowed to be driven on a roadway. The maximum limits are for ideal conditions, and you must reduce your speed when conditions require it. Question 19. You want to turn left at an intersection. The light is green, but oncoming traffic is heavy. You should A. Use the next intersection. B. Wait at the crosswalk for traffic to clear. C. Wait in the center of the intersection for traffic to clear. D. Take the right-of-way since you have a green light. The answer is C. While making a left turn where there is approaching traffic, you must wait for the approaching traffic to go through before you turn. You may enter the intersection to prepare for your left turn if the light is green and no other vehicle ahead of you plans to make a left turn. Question 20. You need to increase your following distance when A. Driving behind a large vehicle that blocks your vision. B. Exiting an expressway. C. Following a motorcycle. D. All of the above. The answer is D. You should increase your following distance when you are behind a large vehicle that blocks your vision, when driving in bad weather or heavy traffic, when exiting an expressway, when behind a motorcycle or bicycle, and if someone is tailgating you. Question 21. What should you use to indicate that you are turning if your turn signals fail? A. Your horn. B. Your headlights. C. Hand signals. D. Your emergency flashers. The answer is C. If your turn signals fail, it is essential to use hand signals to indicate your intention to turn. Hand signals provide a clear visual indication to other drivers about your intended movements. Question 22. If the DMV requires you to complete a driver improvement clinic due to traffic violations, but you fail to do so, within what time frame will your driving privileges be suspended? A. 60 days. B. 10 days. C. 90 days. D. 30 days. The answer is C. If the DMV requires you to complete a driver improvement clinic because of traffic violations, but you fail to do so within 90 days, your driving privileges will be suspended. Question 23. You are going to make a left turn from a dedicated left turn lane when a yellow arrow appears for your lane. You should A. Speed up to get through the intersection. B. Stop and not turn under any circumstances. C. Be prepared to obey the next signal that appears. D. Go through the intersection since you have the right of way. The answer is C. When a yellow arrow appears for your dedicated left turn lane, it indicates that the signal is about to change. Question 24. A green arrow showing at the same time as the red traffic light means A. Vehicles going in the direction shown by the arrow must stop. B. Do not go in the direction of the arrow until the traffic light turns green. C. You may go in the direction of the arrow with caution. D. Road closed ahead, go in the direction of the arrow. The answer is C. A green arrow pointing left or right means you may make a turn in the direction of the arrow. If the red light is illuminated at the same time, you must be in the proper lane for such a turn, and you must yield the right of way to vehicles and pedestrians clearing the intersection. Question 25. When passing a bicyclist, you should A. Blast your horn to alert the bicyclist. B. Move as far left as possible. C. Remain in the center of the lane. D. Put on your four-way flashers. The answer is B. Move left to pass cyclist, leaving a sufficient amount of space for safety. If there is oncoming traffic, slow down and let vehicles traveling in the opposite direction pass before passing the cyclists. Question 26. To avoid accidents, drivers should communicate with each other by A. Signaling when changing lanes, direction, slowing down, or stopping. B. Using their horns in emergencies and when really necessary. C. Using emergency flashers, flares, and signs as needed. D. All of the above. The answer is D. Crashes often happen because one driver does something that another driver does not expect. To help avoid crashes, communicate with drivers on the road. Let others know where you are and what you plan to do by signaling your intentions with the help of your turn signals, emergency flashers, brake lights, and your horn. Question 27. What does it mean when a school bus is stopped and its red lights are flashing? A. You may pass if no children are on the road. B. You may not pass while the red lights are flashing. C. You may pass if you are facing the front of the bus. D. You may not pass if it's on the other side of a divided highway. The answer is B. Flashing red lights on a school bus means the bus is currently unloading children, and they may be crossing the street. You have to stop and remain stopped until the lights stop flashing. Question 28. If you are driving slower than other traffic on a multi-lane highway, you should use A. The leftmost lane. B. The shoulder. C. A middle lane. D. The rightmost lane. The answer is D. Maintain the same approximate speed as surrounding vehicles when possible, but never exceed the posted speed limits. If you are driving slower than other traffic, keep right. Question 29. After a train has passed, you should A. Wait for a green light. B. Proceed across the tracks. C. Blow horn and proceed. D. Check again for approaching trains and proceed with caution. The answer is D. If you are stopped at a railroad crossing with more than one track, do not start as soon as the train passes. Wait until you have a clear view down both tracks before you start across. Even with one track, do not start across immediately after a train passes. Check again for another train that may be approaching. Question 30. One of the rules of defensive driving is A. Look straight ahead as you drive. B. Stay alert and keep your eyes moving. C. Expect that other drivers will make up for your errors. D. Be confident that you can avoid danger at the last minute. The answer is B. Traffic conditions change continuously. Always scan the road ahead. Do not use the road or even the vehicle ahead of you as your only points of focus. Look ahead so you can prevent or decrease possible problems. Keep your eyes moving. Notice what is happening at the sides of the road and check behind you through your mirrors every few seconds. Question 31. What kinds of drugs other than alcohol can affect your driving ability? A. An allergy medicine. B. Marijuana. C. A cold remedy. D. All of these choices. The answer is D. When you drink alcohol or take other drugs, safe driving is not possible. Not every impaired or intoxicated driver causes a traffic crash, but each one is dangerous, putting the lives of himself or herself and those sharing the road at risk. Question 32. If you are a minor and your cell phone rings while you are driving, you should A. Answer it if you have a hands-free device. B. Let the call go to voicemail. C. Answer if the call is from your parents. D. Text the caller that you are driving and you will return the call later. The answer is B. It is against the law for a minor to use a cell phone while driving. If your cell phone rings, do not answer the call or respond to the text message. Convictions for violations of this law are subject to fines. Exception: you may use a cell phone to contact law enforcement, a healthcare provider, the fire department, or another emergency entity in an emergency situation. Question 33. Which of these statements is true about driving and taking drugs? A. Only illegal drugs can impair your driving. B. Even over-the-counter drugs can impair your driving. C. Any prescription drug is safe to use if you don't feel drowsy. D. All of the above. The answer is B. The use of any drug, the law does not distinguish between prescription, over-the-counter, or illegal drugs, which impairs your ability to drive safely, is illegal. Check with your physician or pharmacist and read the warning label if you are not sure that taking the medication will affect your driving. Question 34. You want to make a right turn at the corner. A pedestrian with a guide dog is at the corner ready to cross the street in front of you. Before making your right turn, you should A. Turn off your engine until the person crosses the street. B. Tell the pedestrian when to cross the street. C. Wait until the person crosses the street. D. Honk the horn to warn the pedestrian of your presence. The answer is C. Pedestrians using guide dogs or white canes with or without a red tip must be given the right of way at all times. Question 35. You should always use your emergency flashers when A. You are double parked in a traffic lane. B. You are parked on the side of the road in heavy fog. C. Your vehicle has broken down on the roadway. D. You're driving at night and you feel tired. The answer is C. Never stop on the road unless necessary for safety or to obey a law. If you need to stop, then start braking early as a signal to the cars behind you. If your vehicle breaks down on the road, make sure that other drivers can see it by putting on your emergency lights. Question 36. You are at a red traffic signal. The traffic light turns green, but there are still other vehicles in the intersection. You should A. Wait until the vehicles clear the intersection before entering. B. Move ahead only if you can go around the other vehicles safely. C. Enter the intersection and wait for traffic to clear. D. Honk your horn to warn other drivers of your presence and then enter the intersection. The answer is A. Give the right-of-way to any vehicle, bicyclist, or pedestrian already in the intersection. While the green signal certainly means go, vehicles that enter the intersection before the light turned green have the right-of-way over you. Question 37. Before changing lanes on a multi-lane highway, you should A. Sound your horn. B. Turn on your headlights. C. Reduce your speed. D. Check your mirrors and blind spots. The answer is D. Before changing lanes, signal, look in all your mirrors, check traffic behind you and beside you. Glance over your left shoulder or right shoulder to make sure the lane you want is clear. Check for vehicles, motorcyclists, and bicycle traffic in your blind spot. Be sure there is enough room for your vehicle in the next lane. Question 38. Look carefully for motorcycles before you change lanes because A. It is illegal for motorcycles to share traffic lanes. B. Their smaller size makes them harder to see. C. They always have the right-of-way at intersections. D. They always have the right-of-way on the highway. The answer is B. Due to their smaller size, motorcycles are much harder to see than regular vehicles. Motorcyclists are recommended to wear bright and light-reflective clothes, keep the headlights on even during daylight hours, and flash their brake lights before slowing down. Question 39. How should two sets of solid double lines spaced 2 feet or more apart be treated? A. They should be crossed to enter a private driveway. B. They should be treated as a solid wall and should not be crossed. C. They should be treated as a lane specifically for beginning or ending left-hand turns. D. They should be treated as a center turn lane. The answer is B. Two sets of solid double yellow lines spaced 2 feet or more apart should be treated as a solid wall and should not be crossed. These lines act as a barrier, and it is important not to drive on or over them. Additionally, making a left turn or a U-turn across these lines is prohibited except at designated openings. Question 40. How does preparing to smoke and smoking while driving affect driving? A. They do not affect driving abilities. B. They help maintain driver alertness. C. They are distracting activities. D. They are not distracting activities. The answer is C. Eating, drinking, and smoking are big distractions when it comes to driving. These all create safety problems because they often require you to take your hands off the wheel and take your eyes off the road. Drivers who eat or drink while driving have trouble controlling their vehicle, staying in their lane, and have to brake more often. Question 41. If you are convicted of carrying a child passenger who is not wearing a safety belt or child restraint, how much will you be fined for a first offense under Virginia law? A. $25. B. $75. C. $100. D. $50. The answer is D. Under Virginia law, the driver must ensure that all passengers under 18 years of age wear a seatbelt or suitable child restraint such as a child safety seat or booster seat. If you are convicted of violating this law, you will be fined $50 for a first offense. Question 42. If you are convicted of carrying a child passenger who is not wearing a safety belt or child restraint, what is the maximum fine for a second or subsequent offense under Virginia law? A. $500. B. $100. C. $250. D. $50. The answer is A. Under Virginia law, the driver must ensure that all passengers under 18 years of age wear a seatbelt or suitable child restraint such as a child safety seat or booster seat. If you are convicted of violating this law, you will be fined up to $500 for a second or subsequent offense. Question 43. In Virginia, what is the fine amount for a first offense if you are found guilty of using a handheld cell phone to send text messages while driving? A. $50. B. $75. C. $125. D. $250. The answer is C. Virginia law prohibits a driver from using a handheld cell phone to send or read text messages or email. If you are found guilty of violating this law, you will be fined $125 for a first offense or $250 for a second or subsequent offense. Also, 3 demerit points will be added to your driving record. Question 44. Which of the following convictions will not usually result in the loss of your driving privileges? A. Involuntary vehicular manslaughter. B. Fleeing from police. C. Speeding. D. A felony involving the use of a motor vehicle. The answer is C. In Virginia, the penalty for a speeding ticket is usually a fine, not loss of driving privileges. However, each speeding conviction will add 3, 4, or 6 demerit points to your driving record, depending on how fast you were driving at the time. If you accumulate enough points, your license may be suspended. Question 45. Your license will be suspended or revoked if you are convicted of which of the following? A. Making a false statement to the DMV. B. A drug offense. C. Driving under the influence, DUI. D. Any of the above. The answer is D. There are many different offenses for which conviction will result in the loss of your driving privileges. Among these are driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol, DUI, leaving the scene of an accident without stopping, hit and run, making a false statement to the DMV, and a drug offense whether or not a motor vehicle was involved. Question 46. When driving on a two-way road with no centerline markings, you must A. Always drive on the left side of the road. B. Use the full road when there is no oncoming traffic. C. Leave at least half the road for vehicles going in the opposite direction. D. Do none of the above. The answer is C. When driving on a two-way road with no centerline markings, you must leave at least half of the road for vehicles going in the opposite direction. When you cannot avoid driving to the left of the center line, you must still yield to oncoming traffic. Question 47. The letters RR painted on the pavement indicate that you are approaching A. A road repair zone. B. A railroad crossing. C. A curve on the right. D. A closed road. The answer is B. At the approach to a railroad crossing, there may be pavement markings that are similar to the advanced warning signs for a railroad crossing, an X and the letters RR. Question 48. Before turning left at an intersection without signs or signals, you must yield the right-of-way to A. Oncoming mopeds. B. Oncoming bicycles. C. Oncoming motorcycles. D. All of the above. The answer is D. Before you turn left at an intersection without signs or signals, you must yield the right-of-way to pedestrians and all oncoming vehicles. Operators of bicycles, mopeds, and motorcycles have the same rights and responsibilities as car drivers. The same right-of-way rule applies. Therefore, before you turn left, check carefully for less visible vehicles such as motorcycles, bicycles, and mopeds, and yield to them if necessary. Question 49. You must not pass on the right if the vehicle you are passing is A. Going straight. B. Driving on a one-way road with 2 lanes of traffic. C. Making a left turn. D. Making a right turn. The answer is D. In Virginia, you may pass a vehicle only on the right if it is making or about to make a left turn or there is more than one lane going in your direction. You may not pass a vehicle on the right if it is making or about to make a right turn. The passing lane must be clear. Question 50. Which of the following are three types of intersections? A. Blind, controlled, and diamond. B. Controlled, uncontrolled, and cloverleaf. C. Controlled, uncontrolled, and diamond. D. Controlled, uncontrolled, and blind. The answer is D. An intersection is a road junction where two or more roads cross or merge at the same level. There are controlled, uncontrolled, and blind intersections. An interchange is a road junction where two or more roads cross over one another, i.e., at different levels, so as not to impede on another's traffic flow. There are diamond, cloverleaf, and stacked interchanges, among others. Question 51. Which of the following statements about roundabouts is false? A. Don't try to pass bicyclist within the roundabout. B. Always enter the roundabout to the left and proceed to the left side of the center island. C. Yield to vehicles and bicyclists within the circulating roadway. D. Put your right turn signal on to tell drivers that you intend to exit. The answer is B. When approaching a roundabout, yield to vehicles and bicyclists within the circulating roadway. Look to your left to see if there is an appropriate gap in traffic. If not, you may need to stop until an appropriate gap becomes available. Always enter the roundabout to the right and proceed to the right side of the central island. Question 52. Proactively looking ahead, to the sides, and behind the vehicle to anticipate problems ahead is part of what type of driving? A. Distracted driving. B. Defensive driving. C. Good driving. D. Aggressive driving. The answer is B. The National Safety Council defines defensive driving as driving to save lives, time, and money in spite of the conditions around you and the actions of others. Defensive driving is about anticipating potentially dangerous situations in advance, including driving conditions and mistakes made by others, and planning how to deal with those situations. To be a defensive driver, you must know what is happening around your vehicle. You must look ahead, to the sides, and behind the vehicle. You owe it to yourself to become a defensive driver. Question 53. Freeway driving can lead to highway hypnosis, a condition of drowsiness or unawareness. You can avoid this condition by A. Talking frequently on your cell phone. B. Changing lanes frequently. C. Listening to very loud music. D. Shifting your eyes frequently. The answer is D. Highway hypnosis is a condition of drowsiness or unawareness induced by monotony, the sounds of the wind and the tires on the pavement, and the steady hum of the engine. Try to prevent the condition by shifting your eyes from one area of the roadway to another and focusing them upon various objects near and far, left and right. Talking on a cell phone or changing lanes frequently can be dangerous. Question 54. If you approach a vehicle with a reflective triangular orange sign on its rear, you must A. Slow down and use caution. B. Share the same lane with the vehicle. C. Follow it closely. D. Pass the vehicle quickly. The answer is A. A reflective triangular orange emblem on the rear of a vehicle identifies it as a slow-moving vehicle, which Virginia defines as a vehicle that is normally operated at a speed not exceeding 25 miles per hour. Slow-moving vehicles include farm tractors and roadway maintenance vehicles. If you approach one of these vehicles, slow down and proceed with caution. Be patient. The driver may pull over and let you pass. Question 55. A driver must yield the right-of-way to other vehicles in all of the following situations except A. When merging right or left. B. When entering a roundabout. C. When entering a main road from an alley. D. When going straight through an empty intersection with a green light. The answer is D. A green traffic light at an intersection allows you to enter the intersection. Before entering the intersection, however, you must yield to vehicles that are already in the intersection. A roundabout is one type of intersection, so this rule applies to it too. You must also yield to other vehicles when you merge or enter a main road from an alley. Question 56. When you're changing lanes, all of the following are correct maneuvers except A. Not taking your eyes off the road ahead for more than an instant. B. Looking in your mirrors. C. Looking over your shoulder in the direction you plan to move to check your blind spots. D. Turning the steering wheel when you turn your head to check your blind spots. The answer is D. When you turn your head to check your blind spots, keep the steering wheel straight. People have a natural tendency to turn their arms in the same direction as their head turns. Question 57. Do not make a U-turn on a curve or near the top of a hill if you cannot be seen by A. Drivers approaching from either direction. B. Drivers stopped on the shoulder. C. Drivers ahead of you. D. Drivers on your right. The answer is A. Under Virginia law, you may not make a U-turn on a curve or near the top of a hill if you cannot be seen by other drivers approaching from either direction within 500 feet. Also, you may not make a U-turn within cities, towns, or business districts of counties except at an intersection. Question 58. If you are found to be driving while your license is suspended or revoked for an alcohol-related offense, your vehicle will be immediately impounded for A. 60 days. B. 30 days. C. 7 days. D. 10 days. The answer is B. If you are charged with driving while your license is suspended or revoked for an alcohol-related offense, your vehicle will be immediately impounded for 30 days. If you are convicted of this charge, your vehicle will be impounded for up to 90 more days. In addition, 6 demerit points will be added to your driving record and you will be fined up to $2,500, sentenced to jail for up to 1 year, or both. Question 59. If you are convicted of DUI and a child passenger was in your vehicle at the time of the offense, you will face an additional fine up to A. $500, B. $2,000, C. $1,000, D. $100. The answer is C. If you are convicted of DUI, 6 demerit points will be added to your driving record. Your license will be suspended for an additional year. You will be fined between $250 and $2,500, and you may be sentenced to jail for up to 1 year. However, if there was a passenger under 17 years of age in your vehicle at the time of the offense, you will face a mandatory minimum jail sentence of 5 days and an additional mandatory fine of $500 to $1,000. Question 60. If you are found to be driving an uninsured motor vehicle and you did not pay the uninsured motor vehicle fee, A. Your vehicle will be impounded. B. Your license will be suspended. C. You will be fined $1,000. D. All of the above will happen. The answer is B. If you are found to be driving an uninsured motor vehicle and you did not pay the $500 uninsured motor vehicle fee, your license will be suspended until you either obtain liability insurance coverage for the vehicle or pay the $500 fee.
We hope you found our 2023 Virginia DMV practice test useful. If you did, remember to smash that like button. And if you're looking for more practice tests, check out these other videos and subscribe to our channel to see our latest tests.